Hey guys, Annette here. So, if you haven't caught the buzz, about a week ago, Hugh Hefner and Crystal Harris cut off their wedding. See, just 5 days before Crystal was going to walk down the aisle, she said, I don't. She walked out of the Playboy Mansion, she said farewell to Hef, and she's really moved on with her life. Now, of course, rumor has it that this all started or stemmed off from infidelity. Not that that's totally foreign in the Hefner world, right? I mean, the Playboy Mansion, hookups and swingers. I mean, it's all synonymous with one another. You have to expect that that's just the type of lifestyle that Hugh Hefner is going to live. Now, granted, we don't all know what's happening behind those closed doors, but given, what we understand as the public, as we perceive and understand through the media, it's just kind of a whirlwind experience over the past few days. I mean, Hefner, of course, didn't take long to rebound from the Crystal breakup. I mean, once Crystal was out of that door, he started making his phone calls in his rather large black book, might I say. He brought in, let's see, the Shannon twins, I guess, are now back at the Playboy Mansion. They're not living in the mansion from what I hear through reports. They're actually living in the Bunny House, the house that's just across the street from the mansion, where a lot of very popular models will come through, playmates of the month and of the year and whatnot will stay there while they're trying to live their lives in California. Really nice of him to let all those ladies stay over in his, in his mini mansion, if you will. In addition to that, though, probably the more controversial little tidbit or scoop I got out there was that Hugh Hefner is rumored to have been hooking up with Crystal Harris's BFF, and he's been doing it for several months now. Again, not a huge surprise, I think, for many of us out there, but I'm like, of all the people that he had to rebound with, of all the people he's invited into the mansion, it had to be the best friend, right? It's kind of crazy to see how it all goes. Now, granted, I don't really care either way what happens or doesn't happen in Hugh Hefner's life, but it makes me think of one thing that I do care about, and those are his former girlfriends. We're talking about Holly, Bridget, and Kendra, the original girls next door, at least in the reality TV world. And boy, those girls were just so contagious and lovable, and I really miss them. I mean, granted, they all have stemmed off into their own reality TV franchises, if you will. Kendra, she's on her 4th season of her own TV show on E! In addition, Holly's World is very popular, and Bridget had her hit her fabulous beach show or whatever, where she got a tour around the world. So they all have been quite successful since their time in the Playboy Mansion. But my favorite girl next door, of course, was Bridget. Now, I love Bridget for a few reasons. One, she was well educated. She got her master's degree during her time with the mansion. In addition, she had a couple adorable pets. I mean, hello, Wednesday and Gizmo. They're like twins from completely different species. And of course, the fact that the girl loved Halloween was probably one of my favorite things about her. In addition, she was a natural beauty. I mean, granted, she had a little bit of a different body type compared to Kendra and Holly, but I believe she didn't have any or very little enhanced parts in her body, which really, to me, makes her a very admirable girl next door. But anyway, love those girls. In addition, I mean, of course, Kendra. I mean, I love her laugh, her silliness, her youthfulness, the fact that she is a young mom, and she's doing quite well in her life with a husband, Hank Basket. In addition, Holly. Now, Holly, in my mind, probably the most beautiful of the girls. Of course, she's gone through a lot of surgery, and there's so much to her story, considering she was Hef's #1 girlfriend for so long, but it is just so fascinating to get into the lives of these ladies, and that's why I just really love catching up on it all. I'm a little bit of a reality TV junkie, and I feel so bad because it's something that just, you shouldn't be, I guess. I'm a well-educated woman as well, and I get hooked on this stuff. I love it to death, but the girls next door, those three, in my mind, were the best. And to see these new waves of ladies come into the mansion, into Hef's life, I'm like, I don't really like those girls. And I never really caught on to the series after those ladies left, which is really a shame. Not to say that, you shouldn't support a franchise, but I just felt so loyal to them because of their likability, because of their lovability, and I felt like they were really genuine women in Hef's life. Now, granted, you know, they may not have been there in the sense of wanting to be there in matrimony or whatever. I mean, we all believe Holly was there for that purpose, and she seemed to be along that path. If you watched anything from E! Television's True Hollywood Story on her, I mean, Holly's story is just really heartbreaking. You know, her and Hef for such a long time were actually going through in vitro fertilization. She was trying to get pregnant with his baby. I mean, she was so in love with him, and she wanted to build life with him, and just so much there to that story. And it just tugs at your heart to not see it follow through. Now, granted, a lot has happened since then. They both have really moved on in their own lives. Obviously, Hef with girl after girl after girl, but more so, you know, seeing these young women, these bright women go and succeed, it's really an inspiration to show that, you know, there is life beyond being Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. And you know, certainly this new sling of things with the wedding being called off and everything, it's a great headliner. We don't all truly know what was the story behind it, but it's just, to me, it's very fascinating, and I love the gossip behind it all. Intrigues me to death. But I guess for now, you know, Hef, you're doing all right. I know you're always going to have ladies at the mansion. I'm not too worried about you. I just wish the other ladies well, and it's so fascinating to just be and see parts of this world.